Welcome to Superconnections. I am your host, Jennifer K. Hill, helping you with the golden triangle of connection, where you will superconnect to yourself, others, and your purpose. Join me each week as I will share from some of my favorite tips and tools for superconnecting, and I'll bring in some of my favorite friends and thought leaders to help support you on your journey to superconnecting to the life of your dreams. Hello, friends, and welcome back for episode 30 of Superconnections podcast. I'm your host, Jennifer K. Hill, and I'm so grateful to drop in with you once a week with some of my favorite thought leaders around the world and share with you tips and tricks and tools for superconnecting to yourself, others, and your purpose. Every episode is very special to me as I curate people who I love and adore from around the world. And today's guest is a very special guest who has probably been one of my most influential teachers in my life, Arthur Samuel Joseph. He is the founder of Vocal Awareness and has been teaching his vocal awareness methodology for close to 6 decades. He's done work with training Tony Robbins how to speak, Brosnan, Connery, Dwyane Wade, Arnold Schwarzenegger, just to name a few, and has certainly had a lasting impact on my life through his vocal awareness technology. Arthur, I love you like a brother, as you know, my friend, and it is such a privilege and honor to get to share your wisdom with our audience.
Oh, what a joy to be here with you. And not to age myself, but with my birthday this past January, it actually began my 61st year of teaching. So I turned 80 next January, and I am blessed. And at this stage of my journey, I get to choose where I want to be. And I couldn't choose any place better today than to be with you. It's so special.
I love you, my friend. It's very rare that you meet somebody who changes your life, and you're going to make me tear up, my friend. And you truly changed my life. And I met in your studio behind your house.
I helped you change your life. I must correct that, because that's like my old Tony Robbins story. And then come back to yours when I used to say to Tony, we cannot empower people. That's arrogant. We can only help them empower themselves. So you trusted me to take you on the journey. And in vocal awareness, the axiom is the journey is never outward toward accomplishment, but always and only inward toward discovery of the deeper self. And to your audience, when they listen to you, this is a woman of integrity. She has been integrally on this journey of self-discovery with a capital S, and shows up in such an authentic way. So please continue your story, but I needed to give you that PSA, but also not take the credit for what you've accomplished.
Well, thank you, my friend. Before Arthur and I got on the show today, we were talking offline about how the time 12, 15 years ago, Arthur, when we first began working together, shout out to Andrew Siciliano, who was the journalist when I asked him at a Christmas party. My old on-camera coach at the time, I was doing a live television in my 20s, and my old on-camera coach had passed away suddenly. And I said, I'm looking for a great coach. And then Andrew Siciliano says, you got to call Arthur, because he's who Fox News, I think it was, used at the time. And I remember when I first joined you in your studio, Arthur, and we were just reminiscing on this before we began, of how I had a dream one day. Here I was running my little legal recruiting staffing firm, in my 20s and early 30s, and I had this dream one day of being a thought leader, let alone an evolutionary leader. And thanks to your mentorship and so many other wonderful teachers I've had, here I am. And that's why I wanted to create this podcast, Arthur, is to give people tools like your deeper listening, conscious awareness. One of the tenets of what I call the golden triangle of connection is connection to self, allows for connection to others, which allows for connection to purpose. And our goal with this show is to supercharge that for ourselves, for one another. And so many of the tenets of vocal awareness, Arthur, embody that sense of capital S self, as we call it in vocal awareness. So tell us a little bit about how do we, who maybe somebody's where I was 15 years ago and doesn't know themselves from anybody, how do you begin this journey of deep self-discovery, especially utilizing our voice as a catalyst for that?
was just discussing this with someone yesterday. Was recently doing my annual Leadership Academy, about 900 or so people in virtual at Tony Robbins event down in West Palm Beach, Florida. And I said to them, I want to stop the revolving door of self-help. We all aspire, of course. We all have our dreams. And you remember this story. I used to teach Maya Weeder many years ago for a long time. And she was known as America's Dream Coach. That was her moniker, her brand. And I walked up on the stage when they were doing an all day with me in the Bay Area. And the first thing I said is, I don't believe in dreams. She was like, wanted to just bring the hook. But the point was, we all have dreams. When my first book, decades ago, The Sound of the Soul, I created a character called the pragmatic visionary. And the difference is that all the dreamer does is dreams, but the pragmatic visionary works to make the dream a reality. So in my latest mastermind group, that was an outgrowth of Tony's event a few weeks ago, I'm saying to them, can get really, really scary when we confront our deeper self. We're all fed these mixed messages throughout our lives. Oh, don't act like that. What will people think? You shouldn't say that. You sound arrogant. So you've seen me do this and shared with me when I do this. Oh, if I say vocal awareness, Jennifer's extraordinary work can help you change your life in moments. That's stupid and arrogant. But if I say in response, vocal awareness is extraordinary. It can help you change your life in moments. That's not arrogant. That's my truth.
Can you say that one more time, Arthur? I don't know if it's the audio because you're outside, but I think we missed a little bit. I'd love for you to lean in and share that one more time because it was so powerful. Thank you.
If I say to you, vocal awareness, Jennifer, is extraordinary work. It can help you change your life in moments. Stupid, arrogant. But when I say vocal awareness, Jennifer, is extraordinary. It can help you change your life in moments. That's not arrogant. It's my truth. So to get back to what opened this door for me like that, I want us to own our voices. But we're fed all these mixed messages, and we even taught we have to bond with our audience. And well, what if you have one point of view and somebody else has another? I can't serve you both. So, and as you know, I have a master's in voice. I'm a classical singer before I do everything else. And I've trained a number of, I've got 33 students on the Pro Football Hall of Fame alone in the National Football League, and great athletes and great artists from all walks of life, from Olympians to Deloitte & Touche and Federal Reserve Bank and Angelina Jolie and blah, blah, blah. People who've really achieved significance in their careers. And one of the keys I've observed when people are truly in mastery, which is what you have to be in the highly competitive athletic moment or from the stage of the Metropolitan Opera, you must be totally hubristic. You must be in the me of your power. I can assure you, you mentioned Dwyane when he was this elite NBA star. Dwyane didn't hope the coach approved. While he was out there on the court, or his teammates liked what he was doing. Totally self-focused, but not in an arrogant way. That artist on the stage of the Metropolitan, of course, my ego mind, my human mind, wants to cross the footlights because we all want to be loved and stroked in the art and not go there. And so we know that to achieve mastery, it requires the integration of mind, body, spirit. Speaking to one of the great baseball players of all time the other day, I was saying to an associate that was on the call with us, saying every time before he played a game, he had a prayer. Every time before he walked into the batter's box, he had a ritual. That artist off stage before walking out isn't chatting with the stage manager. They're in prayer. They're in self-focus. Because that's mastery, mind, body, spirit. But we don't use that in real life. We just walk out and talk. We just get on this podcast and we just talk because we're human beings and speech is habit. But in our work that I've been blessed to teach all these decades, I'm teaching communication mastery. But it's also a metaphor because it's life mastery through communication. And as I said a moment ago, all mastery requires the integration mind, body, spirit. So one of the ways we shift is, frankly, profoundly as we do in vocal awareness, is because of the structure and the principles of the work. How many years and hours did you spend putting yourself in stature, for example? And there's that inhale, just as you recall it. The first of our 7 rituals is to say thank you.
Can you lean in a little bit, Arthur? We're just having a little bit of, you're coming in and out a little bit. I want to be
I
sure.
apologize. The first of our 7 rituals is to say thank you. To Source, to God, to self, to say thank you. To love and let go. I said to someone the other day, the entry point to transformation in vocal awareness is breath. So if we take a nice deep breath, we know what happens. But if we instead allow the slow, silent, conscious, loving breath, now we invoke spirit. Now we invoke emotional feeling. Now things begin to shift. And to summarize where we are right now, the whole point is the 7th of the 7 rituals, 3 words, not 2, be myself, capital S. Not present for whose approval. Again, that champion, it's not about approval. It's about claiming. But the last thing I'll say about this, my beautiful friend, is that vocal awareness enables us to confront the 2 greatest fears that each and every one of us struggle with, have struggled with throughout our lives. Fear of abandonment, ownership of our power. Claiming ourselves and not being afraid of what we think of ourselves, while being this august human being that we aspire to be. I don't know if you're aware, I created a new program this past January with my birthday. It's a journal called A New Form of Mastery Journal. And I describe it as your accountability partner. You remember how successful decades ago that book, The Artist's Way, was?
Yes.
And one of the reasons was because you could put your life right in the pages of this book and draw and write and do all of those things. Well, that's what this is about. So we put everything in there. And then it's got my philosophy and my techniques and ... But it's a place where you can really align yourself with yourself. And I want your audience to know, Jennifer probably rarely does a podcast like she's doing with me right now, but it gives you who are watching or listening to this the opportunity to experience Jennifer in her deeper listening. The 6th of the 7 rituals of vocal awareness. Because of who you are, you allow me to do the work with capital W. And you just listen because you trust. You're so devout, not just in a check the box way, but in a really active way. And you know me well enough to know that I'm in the work. And so you just let me go on. Because I really want to help people. And I really want to help people.
I love you, my friend. I know you've helped so many countless people, which is why I encourage everybody to check out Arthur's work. You have vocalawareness.com. Vocal Leadership, his book, is my favorite thing to recommend to people. I still often listen to it on Audible because it's Arthur's voice taking you through the 7 rituals of vocal awareness. It's like getting a private lesson with him, which is incredible. And so if you have an important speech coming up, or maybe you're about to post a video somewhere, I encourage you, go take a minute, study Arthur's work, check out the masterminds. I had the privilege and honor of getting to do masterminds with Arthur for about 4 or 5 years together. We began around the pandemic, and it was probably some of the greatest growth of my life. That was the time when I did the 17-part series with Deepak Chopra, and there was Arthur by my side by side, helping me and getting to be in this work every day. So when we talk about deeper listening and be myself, capital S self, those may seem simplistic, but just like Steve Jobs said, make something as simple as it needs to be and no simpler. I invite you to explore this week. What does it mean to be yourself? To be myself, not anybody else, not trying to prove or fix or cajole or manipulate. Show up raw as your authentic self and let that self shine. And when you're listening and being with other people, drop into your deeper listening. Drop into listening for what's not said. Arthur, I don't even know if I've ever shared this with you, but I took a combination of your work with deeper listening, heart-focused breathing by heart math, and a question of inquiry that came from another mastermind I was in years ago, where you simply ask another human, sitting knee to knee, in your deeper listening, listen deeply for what's not being said under the words that they're saying to you, while allowing a few conscious, loving, heart-focused breaths. And then you ask the other person, what matters to you? And I kid you not, go try that. It will change your life. It will change the life of the person you're sitting with. And so much of this was birthed out of the work I've done with Arthur. So Arthur, as we come to a close for this episode, we like to keep this short, bite-sized pieces and then invite people to go find the work of our wonderful guests that we have, find it out in the world. Do you have any closing thoughts for our listeners, our viewers today, that maybe a takeaway, a tidbit, or something you'd like to reiterate for them?
Voice is power. Doesn't mean big, bombastic. It means authentic. Picking up on what you just said with your need and need relationship. Have that with yourself this weekend, this week. Take time to be that intimate with yourself. The root of the word intimate means intrinsic or essential. The Hebrew word neshama means both soul and breath. The word spirit, spiritus, means to breathe. This is all spiritually connected to Source. So take time with a piece of paper beside you to take notes without even looking for what comes up. Claim the power of the person you're capable of being. Set yourself a 1-month goal every single day, because structure does not impinge, it liberates. To create the structure you need to fully become what you've been designed by Spirit to become, as you have.
Thank you, my friend. I could not have gotten here without you. And I couldn't have gotten here without you. Every person who's ever listened to a podcast I've ever done, or who's ever participated in any way with any of the countless shows I've done throughout my career, it's your listening that has the person show up. So I thank you for your listening, for your grace. I thank you, Arthur, for your decades of commitment to every person having access to owning the power of their voice. And I know you did that for me, my friend. May your wisdom go out there, proliferate, and continue for centuries to come. I love and appreciate you. Thank you.
God bless you.